The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, and welcome to our webinar presentation this morning. This is Jim Guinan. I'm an annuity sales director here at Insurance Agency Marketing, and our topic today is the 1040 checklist. So we will be reviewing some parts of the tax form, and in doing so, identifying sales for you. And that can be in different product lines, and we will talk about that in a little bit here. I do want to remind you that our presentation is being recorded today, and so we will have that available for you throughout from now on. I guess I should say it will be available, should be available this afternoon. So if for some reason you have to leave early from the presentation, we understand. We want to make sure it's available for you in the days to come. So that topic presentation I'll be starting in about 10 minutes. So I'll try and be brief as I can with our intro this morning and talk with you about some things going on here at Insurance Agency Marketing. Some of you may be familiar with our organization. Maybe this is your first time or one of your first times listening in, and material may be a little bit new to you. So with that, let's get started. And again, I appreciate your time today. If there's any questions that you have, please ask those. If I am able to answer those during the presentation, I will, but I will get back with you. So I do appreciate your input and any questions you have. Did want to talk to you about a couple things. I like to start with talking with ways that we can put money in your pocket as a producer. So the first business builder that we would review with you here is our referred producer program, and that is our as you can see, when you refer a producer to us, we will when they contract, we will cut you a check for $50, and then from there it would be $100 or more as the referral does business. This is an unlimited program. So what I mean by that is that you can refer a number of producers to us, and we will continue to pay that. So again, you can refer a number of people. It's not all in 1 year. Your first year with us, you can continue to refer producers to us that are writing Medicare, life, or annuity business, and as they do so, you will be rewarded for that. So we do want to say thanks for that. And again, this is a way to build another way to build an agency where we will continue to contact that person, work with them, and you get a part of what we would earn on that business. So the other is our marketing reimbursement, and the marketing reimbursement program is an ongoing where business that you produce for us, annuity, single premium life, or target life premium, has a conversion for dollars thrown into an account for you. And then as you submit receipts to us for your business expenses, we will reimburse you for 50% of that. So as you can see, for 100,000 of index business, we put $100 in there. So for $1 million, that'd be $1,000. Again, it's a nice build up. You can continue to build that up and use that for a bigger expense, perhaps a lead program or a seminar program, and that helps us. It helps you, and we have skin in the game with you. So the other business builder is the new producer bonus, and that applies to your business production with us in the first 180 days. So once you contract, as you move forward and write business, at the end of that 6-month period, these are the different thresholds, and there could be even more than 500,000, of course. But these are the thresholds that you can look to be rewarded with. As you can see, some of those items, including a gift card or a cash bonus, can be part of this also. So again, our way of saying thank you for placing business with us as you get started, and we will certainly be glad to reward you with that. And you can use that for whatever you want. It's not required to use that for, if it's a cash gift card, you do not have to use that necessarily for business, but you can. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about our back office support here at Insurance Agency Marketing. And we have a great staff here to help you with your business. Some of you already probably know this, and they help us also. So our job is to help you place business, watch that business move through the cycle, which is new business, the scrubbing of apps, following up with our new business team to touch those cases, whether life or annuity, and to help you get paid as quickly as possible so you don't have to be on the phone calling a home office and following up with it. So again, areas as you can see here that help: case design, that's what I do, for example, on the annuity side. We also have illustrations that we run for you. You can also run those on our website. Our paperless contracting saves you from having to write and fill out contracting every single time you want to add a carrier, because as you go forward and write more business, you may have a situation where the 2 or 3 companies that you're with now don't have that product, so you need to get appointed again. Most of those are on our paperless contract system, so we simply add them, and there may be some requirements from them, but you don't have to fill something out. So you let us know, then we start the process for you, again, with your approval. So again, those are just some of the areas that we work with and to work for you, to help you do what you do best. Okay, talk a little bit about our creative department. They are an area in our department of here at IAMS that has grown considerably over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been here. And the department used to be just an individual, and now it's 3. And those people are helping agents with branding. They're helping agents a lot with website design improvement. So if you have some needs in that area, you want to reach out to Jacob and his team, and they will talk with you more about what they can do, find out what your goals are, try to find solutions for that, and give you an idea of what that will cost. So we do get reports occasionally from that area, and they tell us that they're quite busy with setting up websites. A lot of agents are looking for other ways to prospect, email marketing, and then just overall branding to try and bring everything into a consistent brand to help, because let's face it, prospecting has gotten a lot harder than it used to be. Okay, and our website is, if you've not been there, our website is www.iamsinc.com. That's IAMSINC.com. And through our website, you can learn a lot of information. You have access to a lot of information. Our annuity portfolio grid, or our updated rate book, so to speak, is available on there. So you can find top carriers products, a special section on multi-year guarantee annuities, as well as income riders. So we try to keep that updated as frequently as we can. You can also go out and, I mentioned, get quotes for term and UL. There's also forms online, our webinar schedules online, and of course our resource library, which is a wealth of information for you. There's a lot of information about estate planning, taxation, tax guidelines, calculators, fact finders. Our resource library there is a lot of good information out there for you. So I suggest you utilize that as best you can, because again, many of you do not have a home office or an agency that's providing you with these things. So that's why we built the way we have. If you haven't been to our website, I would highly recommend to create a login. Okay, talking about our wealth management, our newest division, so to speak, here at IAMS, which is IAMS Wealth Management, has grown considerably over the last 2.5 years. If you have a desire to increase your revenue, look at ways to improve client retention or strengthen your relationships, and I think we all want that. We all want to have better relationships and retain clients as much as we can. One answer could be the Series 65. If you'd like to get a little more information on the testing, the cost of having that license, um, to maintain it, what's all involved with it, we can certainly get you more information or have you talk with Charles and his team. So I'm going to set a questionnaire out there real quick here. And if you'd like to get a little more information, get a phone call from Charles and his team about what it takes to be a Series 65, or if you have that now and you want to look into, you're already set up, you want to see how can IAMS help you going forward. I know some of this information, but I would prefer that you talk with Charles, Mike, and Joan over at IAMS Wealth Management. They can get you the information, talk to you a little bit about their costs, and they have grown rapidly in the last 2.5 years. So I do appreciate your responses to that. Again, that's not an avenue that a lot of people want to go. But if you're not familiar with it, the Series 65 is registered on the SEC, so you do not work with FINRA at all. Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate your responses there, really do. And again, for those that you like a little info, you'll get a follow up here, probably I would say next week. Our Life and Annuity Academy is coming up soon. We have already selected our producers for this last program of the year. It is in September 18th. And so we will be having producer training next year. Most likely that'll start in the spring, usually around March or April. We will start our programs again. So this is a all expense paid program for those that are invited. So if you're a producer of annuities or life insurance or both, and you want to look at something to help you get to that next level, increase your business, look at ways to grow that and rub shoulders with some top producers, this could be a training for you. So if you're interested in this, I would suggest to respond. I'm going to also launch a poll question for that right now, and feel free to answer if you would like to get more. As you can see, these are some of the topics that we cover. We update the program every time. It is a arrive Wednesday. So there's a brief Wednesday night program all day Thursday, and we wrap up right around noon on Friday. That's about as long as we like to go, and we pack a lot of good information in between for those people that we invite. That's usually around 30 to 40, depending on the time of year and where we're having this training. For those people that we invite, we pay for your travel and your stay. So as you can imagine, it's pretty in demand. We are accepting registrations year round. So if you have interest in this after the webinar, we will email you some information. You can always send a registration in. We can start talking with you about any requirements that we have, and also learn a little bit more about you. And I will say that those people that write business with us, of course, have a little bit more of a preferential treatment. So again, we're 6 months from our first training of 2020. Hard to believe, 2020. So if you want to start working with us now or get more information and find out if it is something you want to do, let us know. So there's the question. I'll close that out now, and I do appreciate your responses. Like I said, you'll get some information after the webinar is over. Usually it's a couple different people that might email that out for us, so I'd check your email. And then lastly, I did want to talk about our marketing summit, which we just completed our marketing summit, which is a social and educational event. The next period of qualification will have started July 1, so we will have that in 18 months afterwards. So uh, keep an eye out for that. Don't have a production number yet, but this last program was $3 million of annuity in 18 months. And we had our largest attended in Naples, Florida. We had the largest attended summit yet. So we really look forward to helping you get to that level of business. If you're already there, then you should have no problem with that. But again, look for that. That will be coming out, I would think, in the next month, perhaps. So I want to thank you, and I apologize for running a little long. It's the nature of what we do, but I will now move over to our presentation of the day. And what the IAMS 1040 checklist is for is this is designed to use when you're meeting with clients and prospects. And what we do is we compile crucial line items to analyze and identify sales opportunities. So again, you've probably seen this. We actually have one of our carriers, which is Allianz, actually has a really good um, tax review kit, they call, where you actually you put their return in that. Uh, I don't know what the best word to say for it, but it's kind of like a uh, format. It's a tax review kit. You basically put the client's return into that, and it has the items on a colored plastic sheet that really kind of highlights, helps you with these questions. And so we do have some of those yet available. I do. And if you'd like one, we can get one for you. It really ties in great with this. The only company I've seen that does it like that. So I'll put that out right away. But when is a good time to do this? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the agent and the client and how you approach this. But really, um, it's another layer of fact find. It's another layer of conversation. It's a way to develop trust with your client, find out not only what they have, but by the fact that they provide it to you, I think tells you a lot too. So this could be used during client reviews on an annual basis. It could be anytime you've done business or just finished a sale, and maybe you want to update their situation a little bit more now that you've learned more. So again, there are different approaches to this, and I've heard several of them. But I know that I used to work with an agent that did seminars, and after the seminar, when they set their appointments, they used to tell them right then and there. They said, "Well, when we meet, a couple things that we'd like you to do for us is that if you could provide us your 1040, your tax return, and have that ready when we sit down." And I mean, it was just assumed that they were going to do that, and it worked pretty well. For an annuity producer. So again, it's your level of comfort. If you want to try this again, it's asking for personal information. We do it every time we write business. So that's kind of why I wanted to present this topic, because there's a lot of cross-selling opportunities in here. So before I go any further, too, I do want to tell everyone out there, if you're not familiar with our products here at Insurance Agency Marketing. I know a lot of you know we have annuities, we have life insurance, we have Medicare now, and that's growing a lot more for us. But we also have carriers that provide disability. We have carriers for critical illness, for long-term care, and also hybrid products like your annuity long-term care or life long-term care, and single premium whole life or index life. Um, the only thing really that IAMS doesn't offer is property casualty. So uh, there's a lot of opportunities here that we can help you with. And so I would keep that in mind as you work with us. We don't have dedicated departments for each one of those product lines. Disability is offered through life. The hybrid annuity products are often offered through the annuity department. So we kind of cross over in some areas, but we do have a lot of opportunities for you to sell business through our brokerage. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing, which was the W-2 form. And there's a lot of questions in here. I'm not going to go through every one of these. I'd be here too long. But there are a lot of good questions that can be asked, and you may want to highlight certain ones that you think would help you, or maybe do it as a test to see, how they help you going forward. But again, we're talking about the 1040, but along with that, you want to ask about their W-2, and what you can find on that, of course, is the differences in line 1 and line 3. That indicates participation in an employer's 401k plan or a 403b plan. And if they're active in a 401k plan, there's certainly some questions that can come up from that. How long have you worked there? Is that a job that you see lasting into the future? If you ever make a job change, let's talk about that. We have an opportunity for that rollover. Or if you have a 401k and you've rolled previous plans into that and been contributing for a while, there's another opportunity, which is your in-service non-hardship withdrawal. So even though you still may be working or your clients are still working, especially if they're over 59 and a half, there's an opportunity for an in-service withdrawal. Okay, the address line, again, if there's a change of address, as you can see, some questions that might come up there was, of course, do you think that you have sufficient life insurance? You may have taken on more debt here. Of course, if you're a property casualty agent or you offer that, do you feel that it's properly insured? Would you be interested in a review? Again, if they had just changed that, it may be an opportunity a year out. But still, again, those are opportunities. If you don't ask, then we don't know the answer to that. So, do you have enough life insurance to pay off any real estate debt should something happen to you? I think that could come up almost every question. But again, just noting if there's been some changes, those are potential opportunities. Filing status, over the last, there's been any changes. Again, if you've recently married, if your prospect's recently been married, divorced, or widowed, if there was a recent marriage, that would be an opportunity to just, bring up, have you changed, updated your beneficiary designations? Have you thought about purchasing additional life insurance, disability, or long-term care for yourself or your new spouse? If it's a divorce, have you reviewed, again, updated beneficiary designations? Now that you're single, have you thought about purchasing DI insurance or long-term care should you be unable to work? Or if your spouse has passed on, again, that's an opportunity to make sure they've updated their will, their beneficiary designations, and let's talk about some of the proceeds that may have come from that. If it was a life insurance payout, what have you thought about utilizing that for? Have you thought about reinvesting that, perhaps into a tax-deferred annuity? Okay, dependents or exemptions. This is for spouse, children, elderly dependents with special needs. There are a lot of good questions here to ask. Again, a lot surrounds life insurance, making sure you're properly insured, or if there's disability insurance. Talk about wages and salary, that's line 7, and looking for increased income going forward and more assets. So, have you considered tax deferred opportunities provided by annuity products or cash value life insurance? If you become disabled, will you have enough income to support yourself and your dependents? So again, more money being made is an opportunity for people to put away in retirement, and perhaps with something that you have to offer. Okay, we moving on here. Taxable interest line 8A and tax exempt interest line 8B. And so this would be a discussion about taxable interest. Estimate the amount of liquid assets a client or prospect has in savings, money market, CDs, and taxable bonds. And so right away, how can we move, how could we save on taxable interest? Have you considered moving some savings into a tax-deferred annuity product and cash value life insurance? Do you know you may be able to generate higher cash flow from an annuity than bonds? Again, uh, I think this is probably one of the highest conversion categories that you could find on a tax return. Alimony received, line 11. Determine if the amount of alimony received is a considerable source of income. So is that needed, or is that extra? Is that excess? Is that an investable, some portion of that investable asset? So, some other questions that may come up. Did your settlement require you to maintain life insurance on each other? And again, there's a lot of DI and life opportunities here. Again, it is always, I think, always a good time to talk with people about, are we properly insured? Are we covering everything we need to? And for how long do we need to have that coverage? And so, again, it's a really great opportunity. Have you reviewed and updated beneficiary designations on your 401k, IRAs, and other employer-sponsored retirement plans? I think a lot of people may forget to do that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about business income or loss. That's line 12 and Schedule C. It's kind of blocked on my screen, but I believe it says Schedule C. So this is where we'd want to maybe talk a little bit about or ask what type of business entity that they have. What steps have you taken to provide for retirement? Again, tax deferral opportunities through an annuity or cash value life insurance. I think another question here too is, since we do have a strong carrier in the small business pension program, if the business they own is 30 employees and smaller, this is an opportunity to capture a census or fact find, but a census form, and send it off to one of our carriers that has a great pension program, and offer that service to them. Talk with them about what kind of business they have. Have you set up a retirement plan for your small business and your employees, or are you trying to do that just for yourself? Are you trying to exclude employees? Tell me about it. Capture the information, send it off to American National, and get a proposal. That's a huge market. And so I think anytime you see business income loss, whether it's a loss or a gain, either one, it opens us up to know this is an opportunity for you. Okay, and you don't have to be the expert. They will design the case. They will send it to you. They will send the proposal to you. They'll help you propose it to the client. I mean, they help you sell it, and then they administer the plan. I mean, so I'm not saying it's easy to do, but I believe it's a great market to work in. All right, let's move on. Capital gains and losses. And so what we're looking for is, kind of what kind of investments they're in. You don't necessarily have to be an aggressive investment to have a capital gain. It's just been a down year. I mean, it doesn't have to be super aggressive, but have you, some ideas to help maybe give the client some things to think about. Have you considered using permanent life insurance as a conservative part of your asset holdings? Do you know annuities can be more tax efficient, especially for retirement? Would you be interested in learning how an annuity and cash value life insurance can be combined to help lower estate taxes for your survivors? IRA and pension distributions. This is lines 15 and 16. So what we look for here is if the required or RMD is made because of age, determine the approximate value of the IRA. So that's not too hard to do. Many of you have access to the RMD tables. So if a client took out their age 70 and they received about $3,600 as a distribution, then they have about 100,000 in their IRA. So again, we need to know those. We can have that, carry that with you on your appointments, but that's the RMD chart, which basically is a factor or a percentage as it changes every year as they get older. So by seeing those dollars in there, if it's an RMD, we can pretty much estimate what they have, at least in an IRA. And so some good questions to offer here. If you don't need your RMD for living expenses, would you consider using some of those funds maybe towards an annuity or to purchase additional life insurance or whatever? Maybe you're an opportunity to um, invest that in the market if you're a Series 65 or a securities rep. Again, what are we doing with the RMD? What have you earmarked that for? If you're not using all of that, here's some ideas. Okay, rental real estate royalties, partnership, S corporations, and trusts, line 17 and Schedule E. Um, Something that may come from that. Again, cash flow that can be used to buy an annuity or additional life insurance. Do you have sufficient insurance coverage on the rental property? If not, that's something that we can handle if we're licensed for it. Um, Moving expenses. Um, Again, a second chance to determine a change of address. So it kind of relates back to address change. You know, are you properly insured at your new home for homeowners insurance? Do you have enough life insurance now? If you're moving into a larger home, do we need to purchase more life insurance? Do we need to review that? That would probably be a good idea. IRA deduction. This is line 32, and this would be an area where you determine if they're taking advantage of the tax deductible contributions to an IRA. So if there is no deduction listed on that, it's an opportunity to also ask, well, why not? You know, are you contributing to other retirement accounts? Are you, contributing to a Roth? So if so, you know, how's your Roth IRA been performing? What kind of investment vehicle do you currently have that in? Again, a huge opportunity here. When I was starting in the business, which was a long time ago, but I was a securities rep. All I had to work with. I didn't have fixed annuities, and we didn't have indexed annuities then, so that dates me a little bit here. But um, I was an IRA expert. I rolled more IRAs that were not performing well or were in the wrong investment, and I did. And IRA contributions were $2,000 a year at that time. So this is a great area of discovery with a client. And so some questions that come from this again, are you happy with your IRA investment allocations? What type of vehicles are you in? And would you like to see if you're eligible for a Roth conversion? Excuse me. Again, one of my favorite questions at the end. Do you know annuities can provide a tax efficient option for your retirement? All right, itemized deductions. And this is line 40 in Schedule A. What to look for: yearly contributions to a favorite charity, Questions to ask. Again, do you know any? You can purchase life insurance policy listing your charity as a beneficiary. All right, federal income tax withheld and refund. What are we looking for here? Well, we're looking for the size of the refund. Do we need to also, do you think you need to adjust your withholding tax to free up more cash? What have you traditionally done with your refund? What are you planning on doing with your refund? Again, um, it could be a small annuity. It could be a larger annuity. It might be to help buy additional life insurance that's needed. I know a lot of people just take the refund and sometimes just pay off a bill every year, and they use it as a way to pay off things. But again, so questions we can ask here. Have you talked to your CPA about adjusting your withholding? What do you usually do with your tax return or refund, it should say? Have you considered using a portion of your refund to purchase tax-deferred annuities for retirement or additional life insurance, disability, or long-term care? So additional questions to ask after reviewing the 1040. Do you currently have any IRAs you're not receiving distributions from? On this note, I have discovered that a lot of people, and I think maybe a lot of agents, customers and agents, feel that once you started to take a distribution from an IRA that you can't move that money anymore. That's not true. So whether they have started to take an RMD or they're still in the deferral phase, an IRA can be transferred, direct transferred, or rolled over to another IRA contract. We just have to be aware of what the RMD is and when it's come out. So again, this kind of goes back to what I said before. Be an IRA expert, because it will help you not only help people with contributions, but you will get the rollovers. It's just finding out. Many individuals invest IRAs into short-term vehicles, and they're not receiving the returns that they could be or the benefits. Do you have any old 401k plans that haven't been rolled into your IRA? Again, I have a whole webinar on this topic, or at least half of the webinar is on this topic of old 401k plans. Have you left an employer in the last few years where you had a small or substantial 401k plan and it's still there? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about ways and options for you if you want to look at options where you cannot lose your principal, that you can earn a considerable conservative, safe return going forward, whether guaranteed or with potential returns, but no downside risk. If you'd like to consider that with a portion or all of that money, we need to talk. Do you have any existing 401ks that you're still contributing to? Well, if the answer is yes, do you know if your employer offers a non-hardship in-service withdrawal? That's something to look into. That's a potential sale. Do you have any annuities, cash value, life insurance, or long-term care policies? Again, this is an opportunity to review, ask questions, learn about what they have. Does it match what their objectives are? Is the product a good fit? And has it performed as it should? If not, let's talk about some alternatives here. Okay, I think that's all for today, and I'm talked out. So I appreciate your interest. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, let me know. I do want to launch one more question here for you. It's if you'd like to get more information on our great carrier portfolio here at IAMS, and again, I'm speaking annuity. I won't begin to tell you all about our life carriers and life products and our disabilities. I will leave that for the experts in that area. But if you'd like to get a little more information about how a fixed guaranteed product might help you. If you're looking for accumulation annuities, if you're looking for those that can generate income, anything that can help you in your cross-selling, whether you're utilizing the 1040 tax return or we're just talking generally. If you'd like to get more information, something specific that you're needing right now for an upcoming sale, let me know, and I'll do my best to accommodate that. So I appreciate your response to that. And again, if there's any questions that you have, let me know. If you already work with another annuity marketer, life marketer, please let them know. And I do appreciate your time today and hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks so much.